Mes amis, I can say without a doubt that poor Mrs. Asher was killed between 5:30 and 6.
Killed when the street was packed with people. That's rather bold.
I've been talking to the neighbours, and...
No one's seen anything? Or rather, it's anything and everything. Am I wrong?
No.
Bien. We must grill this villain Asher before he falls asleep again. Care for a cigarette, monsieur?
What's that? Scented cigarettes? No, thanks.
Bien. I was trying to be friendly, but you are quite right. Let us get down to business. You threatened to kill your wife, and now she is dead.
So what? You shouldn't take things so seriously, sir. Nothing but empty threats. We didn't get on all that badly.
So, if things were going so well with your wife, why did you not live with her?
She was the one that left. Nothing to do with me, sir.
You can't have treated her very well for her to run away.
No, sir, no. I wouldn't say I'd ever laid a finger on her, but it was only normal. She was my wife.
Are you often involved in fights?
I don't know what you mean.
The truth is that someone gave you a good beating.
A beating? No way. All right, he tore my coat and gave me a black eye. You see the state of him.
Very interesting. Who is the other that you struck?
Probably best if I tell you everything. Yesterday afternoon I met Roderick Tanner. We'd bet on a dog fight together.
An illegal bet, naturally.
Yes, sir. Our dog won. Roderick got the money, but he refused to give me my share.
And you fought about it. What time was this?
In the evening, about 6, I think. We were on the other side of town. You see, I couldn't have killed my wife.
Asher's alibi appears to be confirmed. All the same, I'm going to call and check that he did have a fight with this Tanner on the afternoon of the murder. You can never trust this sort of chap.
One thing is certain, Asher was a ruffian who used to beat his wife.
But he's not very educated. It certainly was not him who wrote the letter signed ABC. Let's resume, Hastings. We know the murderer pretended to be a customer. He did not kill her for money, that appears to be certain.
I agree with you on that point.
And the murderer left an ABC guide as a signature. Therefore, it's likely he wrote the letter.
Indeed, but that doesn't explain why and how he did it.
You are quite right. Why he did it is a mystery. But as for how he did it, we do know enough to try and reconstruct the events. The killer enters the shop. Mrs. Asher turns around to greet her customer. The murderer asks her for some tobacco. She turns her back to him. He seizes the opportunity to strike her and places the ABC upside down before leaving. Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Asher has a strong alibi and we don't have any other suspect. But what was the point of this crime?
She had no debts. She gave Franz Asher money regularly. She wasn't owed money. Nobody stood to gain anything.
No doubt about it. The murderer is insane.
And I fear that we had not heard the last of him.
I hope you're wrong for once.
Bien, let's go back to London. If we hurry, we should catch the 7:02 train. Are you coming?
No, unfortunately, I have to talk with Andover police.
See you soon, then. Are you coming, Hastings? Let's go home. There's nothing for us here.
Well, do you have any idea about the killer's identity?
The crime was committed by a man of medium height, with red hair and suspicious eyes. He has a slight limp on the right foot and a wart just below his shoulder blade.
Poirot!
Mon ami, what do you want? You fix upon me a look of dog-like devotion and demand of me a pronouncement à la Sherlock Holmes. Now for the truth. I do not know what the murderer looks like, nor where he lives, nor how to set hands upon him.
What shall we do, then?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Do not be so impatient, Hastings. The killer will manifest himself soon enough.
I thought I heard the postman. Maybe there's some news.
I will go and see. Dear Mr. Poirot, well, what do you think? I believe that I won this round. The end of our affair went like clockwork, don't you feel? But the fun has only just started. I would like to draw your attention to Bexhill-on-Sea on the 25th of this month. We're having a crazy time. Best wishes, ABC. The next crime will be in Bexhill. We must warn Japp to Scotland Yard.
Did the letter indicate anything that might help the police?
To be honest, I think we can already guess something about the next victim. But I need to think about it a little more. Both letters were written on the same typewriter and show the same characteristics.
You surprise me, Poirot. You usually ignore material proof.
But there is nothing usual about this case, Hastings. Nothing must be overlooked.
So, Poirot, have you found something?
Oui, I believe so. But I am afraid it is not enough to stop the murderer. Let us go and see Chief Inspector Japp. I will explain there. To Scotland Yard, please. Bonjour, Chief Inspector. I am afraid we have some bad news. I have just received another letter signed ABC. The next crime will be on the 25th in Bexhill-on-Sea.
Are you completely sure it's from the same person?
I have compared the two letters. There is no doubt about it.
I suppose you think he's going to carry out his threats.
I fear so.
Good God, Poirot. Bexhill is very busy at this time of year, and we have no idea who the next victim will be.
I suspect that the name of the second victim will start with B.
What on earth makes you think such a thing?
I thought about it when I saw the name Asher clearly written over the shop door of the unfortunate woman who was murdered in Andover last month. When I received a letter mentioning Bexhill, I deduced that the victim, like the town, might have been chosen by alphabetical order.
So it's an alphabet fiend. I'm going to have a list drawn up of all the people whose name starts with B. I hope there aren't too many of them.
Bien. We should leave you to work, Chief Inspector.
You have a few days to prepare yourself.
Thank you for coming, my friends.
Poirot?
Chief Inspector Japp, your call does not bode well.
Indeed, we have just found the body of a young woman on the beach in Bexhill. An ABC was placed on the body.
We'll be there as soon as possible.
Bexhill is a delightful town. It would be nice to come back and visit.
I do not entirely agree. Walking at the beach damages my shoes, and it hurts my knee.
So the years have not spared you, my friend. It's the same for all of us.
That is exactly what I said to myself when I saw you back from your travels.
Poirot!
Do not be offended, Hastings. I can see Japp waiting for us. And from his face, I would say that things are not looking good.
How do you do, gentlemen?
Chief Inspector?
I fear your admirer has struck again, Poirot. We haven't yet identified the victim, but it's a young woman, 20 to 25 years old. Death occurred last night between 11:30 and 1 o'clock, and we found an ABC guide on the body.
Was she pretty?
Come on, Poirot, that's rather out of place. It has no bearing on the murder.
Are you certain? For women, it is often the most important thing. It often decides their destiny.
The body hasn't been moved. You can see for yourself.
Has the press been informed?
Not yet, but I'm planning to. I haven't yet informed them about the presence of the ABC guide in Andover.
Nobody has reported a young woman missing?
Not for the moment.
No witnesses, I imagine.
Indeed. We've asked everybody who may have met a young woman fitting her description last night to come and see us, but I have little hope of gaining anything from it.
It's early days, Chief Inspector, and the news may not have spread around the town yet.
I hope you're right, Hastings.
A braided silk belt. It may have belonged to the victim. These marks have been left by a rope or a braided cloth. She was a great beauty. Strange that chap didn't notice it. This key is too small to be one for a house. Without a doubt, it is for a padlock. The guide is open as the page for the Bexhill train times. The young woman wasn't wearing shoes or a coat and was not carrying a bag. That's strange. Either the murderer stole her belongings or she put them somewhere safe. Maybe so that she could bath. Apart from the marks on her neck, there are no signs of the struggle. She didn't manage to hit her assailant. The poor child must have been strangled with his braided belt. Unfortunately, in view of the fabric, it is unlikely that we will find any prints. The medical officer should confirm that the victim was strangled with her own belt.
That's what I thought. She shows the usual signs of strangulation.
With a little luck, we'll find prints this time.
You are too optimistic, Hastings. Our killer is far too meticulous for that. This hut is locked. This hut is locked. A dual locking padlock. I need to find the code and then insert a key. It definitely was here that the victim left her belongings. The purse is full, Yet again, we can dismiss theft as the motive for the murder. Here is the watch she must have removed to prevent it from getting wet. A top-brand lipstick. She liked to take care of her appearance. As well as a photo of the victim with some company. It could be useful to me. Betty's first day at work. Mom is very proud of you. Elizabeth Barnard, 7 August 1931. So, the young lady did have a name starting with B, and she worked as a ginger cat, an establishment that must be slightly further along the beach.
Jap has gone to the police. The victim has been identified and her family had reported her disappearance. She was called?
Elizabeth Barnard, mainly Betty. She worked as a ginger cat at the cafe slightly further along the beach.
But Poirot, how on earth?
Never mind. Do you have her address?
Yes, she lived with her parents on the street leading to the beach, number 22. Shall we go?
You are far too impatient, Hastings. Let the poor people take in the news first. Let us go and visit the cafe where Betty worked.
I'll be with you in a minute, gentlemen. How can I help you?
A hot chocolate and a tea for my friend, please.
I'll bring it straight away.
I need to know the time range during which Betty was working on her own. These are the different waiting staff's bills. Which ones were written by Betty? Where is Betty? Interesting. Betty was alone between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Who did she serve? Betty worked from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Would she have been alone at any time during her service? Most probably a family. Most probably a single man, a whiskey lover. Maybe the murderer? Betty served a family and a man on his own, a whiskey drinker. Maybe the murderer. This information will help me to progress.
What? Gentlemen, what are you doing?
We are searching for clues, mademoiselle. My name is Hercule Poirot. I am a detective, and this is Captain Hastings. Does Betty Barnard work here?
That is correct. She should have been here a while ago. Punctuality is the first rule of politeness.
I fear that Miss Barnard will not be coming today. She has just been found, dead, on the beach a few hundred meters from the cafe.
How awful. Poor young thing. What happened?
She appears to have been murdered.
This is most distressing. How this will affect my business, I shudder to think.
What can you tell us about Miss Barnard?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. Miss Barnard was my employee. Her private life was none of my business.
You did know at least that she had a young man.
Indeed.
This photo was found. Is this him?
Yes, that's him all right. But I haven't seen him for some time.
Do you think there may have been some problems between them?
I'm not on those sort of terms with my staff. Now, please excuse me, I have work to do.
The customer who ordered the whiskey might provide us more information. He may have been the last one to see Betty alive.
It is an interesting idea, Hastings. Maybe he is a regular guest. What do you think, mademoiselle?
I don't think so. Our regular guests tend to order tea and cakes. At this time of the year, there are a lot of tourists about you never see again.
That's what I thought. Time to visit Betty's home.